So, let me ask you a question. Who is actually famous today? I mean, it sounds simple, but it's a surprisingly tricky question. Not that long ago, you knew the answer. It was movie stars, rock stars, world leaders, right? Their fame was kind of cooked up by studios and networks. But now, wow. Fame is chaotic, it's unpredictable, and a lot of the time, it's just algorithmic. Okay, let's dive into the new rules for who gets our attention and why.
And this really gets to the heart of it. The entire playbook has been thrown out the window. Think about it. 20th century fame was all locked down by gatekeepers. You know, the studios, the record labels. It was built on this sense of mystery, and it was basically just beamed out at you one way. Today's world couldn't be more different. It's driven by algorithms, it's supposedly built on a feeling of authenticity, and it absolutely thrives on a direct, unfiltered connection with an audience. So what does this new landscape really look like? You know, to really get it, we've got to look at the new archetypes of celebrity that have just sort of emerged from this digital chaos. These aren't just people who adapted to the new rules. No, they're the ones literally writing them.
Okay, first up we've got an archetype we're calling the platform monarch. This is someone who builds an entire empire, not just on a platform, but by pretty much becoming the platform themselves. They talk directly with no filter to millions, completely skipping over the traditional media. And honestly, there's no better example of this than Elon Musk.
And Musk, well, he's the master of this. He'll announce huge business decisions for Tesla, he'll get into feuds with world leaders, and he'll post memes all right from his personal X account. He doesn't need to call a press conference. A single post can literally move markets or kick off a global shouting match. I mean, love him or hate him, you gotta admit he's created his own reality show, and we're all tuned in.
And look, this is what that looks like in real time. The engagement on just one controversial post is just astronomical. So is this all just noise? Not really. It's culture shaping attention. It proves a brand new rule of the fame game. Controversy doesn't kill a career anymore. In fact, it feeds the algorithm. And man, does the algorithm love noise.
But the platform monarch isn't the only game in town. So let's dig into a couple more case studies that really define what it means to be famous today. They come at it from totally different angles, but as you're about to see, the same core principles are working behind the scenes. First up, we have the cultural force.
You literally cannot have a conversation about fame in 2025 without talking about Taylor Swift. She's the definition of what we're calling a cultural force, just total, complete cultural dominance. It's not just about her tour being the biggest in history. Her influence is now dictating fashion trends, it's driving the economies of entire cities, and it's even crossed over into the NFL. Every single move she makes becomes a global event. She's not just a part of the culture anymore. In a lot of ways, she is the culture.
And then you've got this totally different beast, a completely different kind of fame, which is embodied by our third archetype, the viral empire builder. You just have to think of Mr. Beast. This guy has become a media mogul by turning extreme philanthropy into a must-see viral spectacle. He has literally weaponized generosity, building an empire by giving away hundreds of millions of dollars right on camera. And check this out. This is his secret sauce. It's this perfect, self-sustaining flywheel. The wild philanthropic stunts get insane viewership. That viewership brings in massive revenue. And that revenue, it gets poured right back into even bigger, even crazier stunts. He's built a whole media company that just completely bypasses all the old gatekeepers. It's genius.
So what on earth do a tech monarch, a pop culture icon, and a YouTube philanthropist all have in common? Well, it turns out they're all following the same basic playbook. There's a formula, a set of core ingredients that seems essential for reaching those top tiers of fame today.
And it really comes down to this, a four-step formula. First, you have to master your digital landscape. Second, and this one is so important, you have to embrace polarization. Third, you've got to project authenticity at all costs. And finally, you have to cut out the middleman and build your own direct line straight to your audience.
Let's just hang on that second ingredient for a sec, because it's so counterintuitive. Back in the day, celebrities wanted to be universally liked, right? But today, it's way more valuable to be polarizing. I mean, think about it. Nobody is neutral on Musk or Swift or even someone like Joe Rogan. You either love them or you have very strong opinions about why they're wrong. And that division, it creates nonstop conversation. And in 2025, conversation is relevance. Simple as that.
Now, that third ingredient, authenticity, is just as critical. Whether it's Elon's unfiltered memes or Taylor's songs about her breakups, they create this feeling that you're getting the real them.
Now, is that authenticity genuine or is it carefully constructed? That's a whole other debate. But the feeling of it, that's what creates that magnetic, direct bond with millions of people. That's the magic ingredient. So, okay, we've got the formula, we've seen the archetypes, but what does all this tell us about where fame is going next? What does the future of celebrity even look like?
Well, the biggest thing you're going to see is that fame just doesn't stay in one lane anymore. The most famous people are totally multidimensional. They refuse to be just one thing. You've got Elon, who's a tech CEO, a political commentator, and a meme lord. You've got Taylor Swift, a musician who's influencing sports and economics. Being truly famous now means you're a part of all these different cultural conversations at the exact same time.
But here's the crazy part. At the exact same time, the whole life cycle of fame is on hyperspeed. The internet can make you a global superstar literally overnight, but it can also tear you down just as fast. So you end up in this wild situation where fame is easier to get, but way, way harder to keep.
Which leaves us with one last, and I think really important question. If fame is now driven by these algorithms that are designed to reward noise and controversy and polarization, then who's really shaping our culture? Is it the creators who figure out how to master the system, or is it the unseen code that's just deciding who gets our attention in the first place? Yeah, that's something to think about.